Welcome to the Midtown area. This is the heartbeat of a city that's constantly evolving and where the city's soul truly shines. Living in Midtown Reno is like being at the center of everything cool and creative in the city, and it's like nothing that you've seen in any other part of town. It's nestled between the bustling downtown, which is just right over there, and the serene neighborhoods on both sides. So Midtown blends the old school charm with the modern flair as they've tried to redo this whole area. The district is a vibrant mix of art and food and culture, and it offers a little something different for everyone. From quirky boutiques to cozy cafes, Midtown has it all, and this is one of the only areas that you can walk around. So whether you're visiting for the weekend or actually thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, you don't want to miss out on Midtown. It's the true spirit of Reno. So let's dive into all things Midtown, and you're going to find the hidden gems that make Reno more than just a city. So if you're someone who's enjoying the kind of content we're putting out there each and every week, please subscribe to the channel at Living in Reno Tahoe. Tell your friends about it, share the content so more people can find out about how amazing Northern Nevada really is. So as we're outdoors trying to check out the area and do something a little different for you guys and really give you a feel for what visiting and living in Reno is all about, Midtown's roughly, a mile and a quarter to a mile and a half walk from where you kind of convert from downtown to Midtown. To me, there's a little bit of an overlap, but as you get all the way to the Reno Public Market on the south end, the Discovery Museum on the north end. So if you're someone who likes food, beers, something a little different, something a little creative, we're gonna show all of that to you today. So we're gonna go take a walk around and we're gonna show you some of our favorite places. And I'd love to hear what you have to say about Midtown, especially for those that live here that like to come here. I live in South Reno, so I'm not in Midtown a lot, but I do love coming down here, especially when people are in town, to show them all the cool things about Midtown. So let's go check it out and comment and let us know what your thoughts are about all things Midtown. So as we start looking through Midtown, one of the reasons why in South Reno we did a video about all the great places to eat, one of my favorite places, especially if you're trying to eat super healthy, is Grateful Gardens. The original Grateful Gardens is right here in the strip mall. There's a couple of other cool places that you can eat right in here. And to me, as we start to go towards the south, this is where kind of Food Row begins. And there's gonna be a million places that we're gonna talk about. But as Sydney pans the camera a little bit to her left, one of our favorite places that we've eaten in the past many times is called Soup. So if you're into soup, salad, all kinds of cool things, they've got great food and cookies. And as we start to come this direction down here, you're gonna see the start of Midtown. We're gonna get into a spot where if you go to midtown.com, it will give you basically every business, every place that is going on in the Midtown. And you can see they've got a big banner over here. They do some events called Dancing in the Streets. They do other events where all the businesses get involved. So this whole Midtown area, they kind of went through it together as they did all this construction, turning all this into one lane each way and expanding and widening the sidewalks. So they all kind of had a struggle there for a few years, keeping the doors open, having business happen. And with that all being said, we're gonna basically walk through and eventually we're gonna hop in the car and we're gonna drive you through so you can see what we're talking about. It's an area you definitely want to come to when you come visit Northern Nevada. All right, so we're right now on the corner of Tomah and South Virginia. Food places up the side, but we're gonna show you one of my daughter's favorite places, and there's actually another place called Two Chicks further down. It's an amazing breakfast place to eat. But as you come into this strip mall that they redid a few years ago, there's gonna be other businesses and other places to eat, other things to do. There's Mexican food in here. But as we walk through here, we wanna show you, it's early morning on here already. There's Chewy's, there's a nail salon, and there's all kinds of stuff that's cool through here. They did it with really nice, cool paver patio, walkways, all kinds of stuff. And if you came through here a few years ago, one, if anything was here, it would have been old and beat down, and now they've done a really good job of fixing it all up and making it a place that people wanted to be. So you can see how they did this. The sidewalks now are super wide so that people can come down here, walk around. There's still lots of businesses and spots available for people. So if you're someone who wanted to start, or this is more your jam, or maybe even wanted to start a business, you've got the cool old brick buildings, the cool Midtown sign. And again, it's all one direction, one lane, medians. And again, they put in these new cool buildings that they redid that just look really amazing. But this whole district is kind of a separate entity to himself, and it really is like no other part of Reno. If you pan down to the right, Sid, you can see, the Reno Public House, beer, liquor, all kinds of cool places. There's a tequila bar here to the left, whiskey bars. So it's really just kind of a happening place, especially when there's events going on. Right now in downtown Reno, the time we're recording this, Hot August Nights is going on, but there's also plenty of other events that happen right here in Midtown. Okay, so when we decide we're gonna take a drive right down South Virginia into Midtown. So there is Soup. one of the best restaurants in this area if you're looking for soup, salad, healthy eats, tattoo parlors. And as we come down, you're going to start to see the difference in the look of the buildings, the difference in look of the area, the big wide sidewalks. There's Perrin Bakery down in the corner. You've got all kinds of cool things. And this is just on the west side as we're going to drive slowly down South Virginia Street to show you all things Midtown. You can see there's going to be a lot of these murals and walls that are painted like this. Lots of cute little shops. That's a florist shop. But again, it's an area that's been kind of a good mix between helping people that want to come downtown and for people that want to live here. We're going to drive on a couple of the streets on either side of it here shortly to give you kind of an idea of what it feels and looks like. But again, it's like no other part of town. So this is what you used to see, a lot of old houses just like that brick house that were, a lot of them moved on, torn down, done different things to. The bus runs right through here. You can see these bird scooters occasionally on the ground. But see, like this building here, this motor lodge, that was a building that was literally a total and utter disaster just a few years ago. And you can see how cool they've made it. They've changed up. It looks amazing. It's like I said, it's making it more and more of a place that people want to come to. And so again, as you're coming down this road, restaurants, bars, here's the Emerson, and I'm going to make a quick right-hand turn off of South Virginia. So technically, once you're one street over, you've technically left Midtown, from what they'll show you on an actual map of Midtown. But this is what the neighborhood looks like. That's literally just one street over. And we're just going to give you kind of an idea of some of these older houses, what they look like. And what you're starting to see is some of these older houses being taken down. And you're starting to see, as you're going to see here in a minute, some of these more multifamily apartment buildings, complexes like that. And I'll flip a U-turn, but you're going to see like these are old. They've been here a really long time. And this neighborhood is, again, you're starting to get into Old Southwest. But as you drive through here, this is what you used to see on your right-hand side. Lots of little, small, one-level houses that have been here forever. But if Sydney pans the camera and comes right to the other side, just go up over the top out the sunroof maybe, you can see on the other side, you're starting to see more buildings like that have been redone, remodeled, turned into more multifamily living. And so it gives you an idea of what people are doing and why they're spending money down here in order to live in these places. Because now you can walk, which before you could never do as far as that goes. So we're going to make a left-hand turn. We're going to get back onto the main drag so you can see. But these neighborhoods, crazily enough, price per square foot are some of the most expensive parts of Reno. Because again, if you're someone coming from California and maybe you want to live in an older neighborhood, there just isn't a lot of it for sale here. So in Reno now, this has just become kind of the place to be if you like that kind of stuff. Lots of people on bikes, lots of people walking around. We tried to do this when we recorded for you guys as early in the morning when there wouldn't be a lot of traffic and a lot of people around. But it is new art pieces being done. If you just show the left up, we're going to see the RTC bus that's going to come through. That runs right through downtown and Midtown. But you'll see like the Reno Art Society. It's been kind of a cool thing that they've redone down here so that people can see a different side of what's going on down here. So into the roundabout, back downtown. And you will start to still see some of these old motels that I think over time you're going to see more and more of them get bought out and redone like the one that you saw a few blocks back. But again, most things are closed at the moment. Bars, restaurants, the Z Bar, I always thought about that with my son's name being Zach. And for another reason, for those of you that might be moving to Nevada or wanting to visit down here, here's one of the biggest dispensaries in all of town that literally runs right through the middle of Midtown. So we're probably about halfway through Midtown, and what I'm going to do is make a left, and we're going to bring you up one street over. And technically, once you go through that traffic light on Holcomb, you've technically now, again, left Midtown, but there's a lot of good places to eat, a lot of good restaurants in these neighborhoods that it may not look like it, but it definitely is. So another huge thing that you've seen in our Midtown area are these murals, where there's walls painted everywhere. like you said, trying to give it more of an urban city vibe. If you go scanning to the left across the street over there, you can see some more to your left. And again, these neighborhoods have bus access. So if someone doesn't have a car, like I've said in other videos, we don't have a ton of great Reno transit here. But if you are in that Midtown and downtown area, there's definitely plenty of that going on. And those houses you see right over there, technically, again, just one street, technically outside of Midtown, but that's the kind of a lot of the properties you're going to see in this area. So if you're someone who's looking for more information about moving to Northern Nevada, click the link in the description below where you can get a copy of our free buyer's guide that'll help you get started on your journey to Northern Nevada. All right, so we are now a little further south. We just made a right-hand turn on Caliente off of South Virginia, so we can show you again some of these neighborhoods that are just off of Midtown. And so technically, is this part of Midtown? I would say it is, but if you look at a map, it will show you that Midtown sort of stops right around here. But these neighborhoods, I've got a client who actually lives on this street. You can see again, some of these are a mix of small businesses. Some of these are now going to be older homes that have been totally redone and remodeled, but this is some of the oldest property you're going to see in our area. So I'm just going to give you a little chance to take a look around. We're now on Caliente and Watt, just to give you an idea if you were looking at a map, and we'll try to show you some map views as we're giving you a drive around. But this is where you see the big trees and brick houses. Here's one on the left-hand side, Sid, if you turn and show them. You see kind of lots of cool houses like this. And of course, the price points will vary dramatically based upon how they've been remodeled, updated, redone, or not. Because some of these even still have old oil tank heaters, and some of them have basements. Basements meaning I'm 6'3". Can you stand up in them? So the square footage in some of those basements will be totally different. But again, sometimes you can find a deal in here, and if you're a handy person, then you could definitely fix up a house. But for example, this one behind us, I'm going to turn around and come, well, you can't really turn around, it's a one-way street. But if you look through these neighborhoods, there's lots of opportunity for people to be able to buy something, modernize it, fix it up, and make some money, as well as be in these neighborhoods that, like I said, are not very common if you're looking for this kind of stuff. All right, so we're really getting to the end of Midtown down here. This is Plum Lane, and as you go back to the north, that's typically where people think of Midtown. But behind me is one of the biggest projects in all of Reno that you've seen in years, where when I first moved here, this was Park Lane Mall. Park Lane Mall got torn down, it's gotta be 25 years ago, and it was an empty lot that just sat there forever. And what they did is they turned it into the Emery. There's hotels, there's behind it is the movie theaters, there's a bank over on this other side over there as well. It's one of the biggest projects you've seen in Northern Nevada in a long time, and what it's done, it's had a lot of people live right in the middle of town, as they can then use all these features of things in Midtown. The freeway and the airport, if you go down Plum Lane, you're really about 5 minutes from the airport, so we are really starting to be in the dead center of all things Reno and Northern Nevada. But you should check this out. It's a huge complex, and lots of people I know that have been moving in and living in there and really enjoy being kind of in the heart and the actual center of the Reno Sparks area. All right, so now we are at the Reno Public Market, and this entire strip mall that we had right here used to be, again, an old beat down mess. There was a beat up Marshalls and a bunch of gross stores, honestly, and it's all been redone. So like I said, from the big apartment complex, condo complex behind you, more towards downtown and Midtown, they've been all redone. Now, if you haven't been inside here, we talked about there's a million restaurants and bars and places to get a cocktail, but if you're in a family situation or a group of people and you can't decide on what you want, Reno Public Market is the place for you. There's cool shops, there's a million different kinds of foods. A lot of times there's music and events and things going on in there. So if you haven't checked out the Reno Public Market, you absolutely should. It's a super cool, hot place to be. And again, as you pan around, there's more shopping, and all these things behind you have been redone. So now there's a Cold Stone Creamery and a Porta Subs, there's a skateboard shop. But this building here used to, again, was a beat up mess. And now they've done all kinds of cool things to it to make it look so much better for all these people that live in these areas. It's just become, like I said, a happening spot. Same thing as she keeps panning around, that Sprouts Market in the background. It used to be just a beat up disaster of a building. but it just looks so much better. It feels so much better. It just gives a whole better vibe to your whole community when all these little areas get revitalized. And again, this used to be a place you really didn't want to come to, a part of town that people didn't want to be in. And now it's become so much better. And you can see even upstairs right now, there's Junkie Clothing Exchange, which used to be in its own building in the Midtown area. The food hall upstairs, there's coming soon businesses and buildings and all kinds of fun stuff around here. So it's been an amazing thing. And again, with all these people living right across the street and just on both sides of what would be the Southwest, Old Southwest, Midtown and downtown. So hey, we have been driving around We've been driving around Midtown, as you guys know. We're out here goofing around trying to show you all about what it's like to be in Midtown. And so what we wanted to talk about real quick is, as you know, Sydney's in her 20s, I'm in my 50s, and the things that we might want to do or see in Midtown would be a little bit different. So we wanted to kind of get your opinion on, when you and your friends come down here, what are some of the things you guys like to do versus some of these high-end fancy restaurants or other things that maybe someone like I would like to do.
Yeah, something that I do as often as possible on like a Saturday usually. I have a friend that will come down here to Midtown. We'll go to the Two Chicks down here because we just like the vibe of Midtown a little better when we are doing brunch. We'll do Saturday brunches once a week. We will come down here. She has tattoos and piercings and things, so sometimes we'll go look at the tattoo shops and look at some piercings, and we go to a lot of the thrift stores. We'll go to some of the antique shops, just messing around, like not even really just making a plan for anything, but we'll just walk around and go, oh, well, this place looks kind of cool, and we just go.
If you're someone who's trying to find out more about Midtown, they have a really good Midtown. I can't even say it today. They have a really good website, midtown.com. They'll tell you everything you need to know about all the businesses, all the shops, all the things. And if you actually type in Midtown on Google and put a map search in, a lot of the residential stuff that we always like to talk about for someone that might want to live in the Midtown, technically you're just outside of it. But if you go to the west side and you're in the Old Southwest, the closer you are to South Virginia Street, the older the properties will be. And I always think of the Old Southwest as everything on the inside of the McCarran Loop. So if you're someone who's looking for that stuff and you like older properties, I know we joke all the time in the Lessinger family that old houses are not for us, correct?
Yes, we are tall. We hit our heads on things.
Yes.
It's not
the bathrooms
ideal.
And the showers and things in those houses.
Little small for us,
yeah.
But if it's your vibe, it's your vibe.
Exactly. So we're helping actually two people that want to live in this area right now. But if you're also someone who wants to rent, there's lots of cool apartment complexes, condo complexes. You can find some relatively inexpensive things to be in this area, but it's definitely going to be more expensive than some of the other areas than you might think, because again, older properties, older things, and again, if you're someone who's a big person, some of these properties don't work for you. But you know, like I said, it's a cool area, it's a place to be. And anything else you want to tell me about the old Midtown area?
Come down here and walk it. You'll love it. If you start from the boba shop at the roundabout and go all the way up to Grateful Gardens, you will have seen all of it, and it will be a good walk for you.
Yeah. So I kind of think it goes all the way to Plum Lane, but as you get further towards Plum Lane, it has less of that Midtown vibe. But if you go to the Reno Public Market down there and check that out, there's lots of cool options, especially if you're in a big group and nobody can agree on one place to eat or go. But it's a place that for locals, we should come more, we should check out more, and you should really come enjoy the Midtown area. There's lots of cool things going on here, so hopefully this was helpful in you learning about it. But again, if you always have specific questions, things you want to know, comment below, reach out to us directly. You can always go to our website, thelessingerteam.com, and we're easy to find, so we can get you things whether you're visiting or moving to Northern Nevada. So thanks for checking us out.
See you guys.
So I hope you're enjoying the kind of content we're putting out there each and every week. Check out the video we did about all the amazing places to eat all over Northern Nevada. There's lots of great spots, so check it out.